Hey guys, this is One-on-One R Smith. I'd like to wish you a very happy new year, and for the first review of the year, we're looking at something familiar but different. Today we're looking at the Metal Robot Spirits Wing Gundam Zero from Gundam Wing. Now you guys know I'm a huge Gundam Wing fan, so this should not surprise you as to why I even got this figure to begin with. But here we are, and I saw this about 4 or 5 months ago, and I was impressed by the amount of detail and color into it. I'm somewhat familiar with metal builds and robot spirits, but I never heard of metal robot spirits until I started seeing reviews of the Gundam Barbatos Lupus Rex and the Vidar. They looked like really impressive figures that not even a master grade by itself could replicate. I saw the Wing Zero, the Okawara version, might I add, and I said, why not? I have to get this. So for me, this is some uncharted territory for me. A figure that isn't a master grade, a high grade, but it has a amount of detail and metal into it. That's like the big gimmick, because it's called Metal Robot Series. It has metal parts in it to add stability in order to give us poses that unfortunately our master grade and high grade counterparts cannot give to us. That was the selling point for me, beyond just the detail, the metal parts, the stability that comes to this. This thing should and will be able to pose on the ground. Wing Zero that could do a final shot pose standing? Oh my god, I never could have even dreamt of that 5 years ago. So why don't we open up the box and see what we have here. Out of the box put together, and we have Wing Gundam Zero from the TV version of Gundam Wing, and I am more than impressed by the look of this guy. It's got the two-tone whites from the real grade. It's not that big, but it's not that small either. It's got a lot of great detail. I love, like, partially some of my favorite parts is the fact that there is a silver metal plated part on the back of the gem on the chest. There's multiple layers of, or multiple textures of plastic, from gloss finish to matte to flat, and this thing looks amazing. In comparison, I have my old Wing Gundam Proto Zero, and the Metal Robot Spirits isn't too far away in terms of size. This thing is almost the size of a Wing or Victory Master Grade. It's really not that much different. And while I love my Proto Zero, you could tell that these two are two completely different beasts. You will not be able to replicate this on a master grade without the amount of pain and maybe a conversion kit. This thing is leagues in and of its own. And then for another size comparison, we have the real grade Wing Gundam, and definitely the Wing Zero stands firmly and tall against this thing. I was actually surprised because I was expecting this to be about high grade size. This thing has to be almost 6 inches. So again, I'm just floored away by how big and how hefty this guy is. I was expecting something smaller. I am totally happy with the proportion here. But what we're looking at the size of it, why don't we take a look at its articulation. Now we gotta remember, this guy is metal, so a lot of the joints are gonna be strong, sturdy, and tough. But like we always do, we start with the head. Head is on a very loose, double pointed ball joint, to be honest, but the top is very stiff in order to circle around and get the 360 degrees. Shoulders are designed to move out fairly easily due to Neo bird mode. Arms can go out 360 so long as you avoid the wings and move them out of the way. You're gonna get a double jointed elbow, but man, it's really tight. It's really strong. It's strong and sturdy in order to get those bends with the Buster rifle. Waist can go 360 fairly easily. The legs can kind of go out, but you gotta be patient with them. They're like on a locking sort of mechanism. It's really tight to bring them out. And then you're gonna get a double jointed knee with a locking situation for the Neo bird mode. The toes can dip down and dip up, and the leg armor can move down as well. The wing binders have a slew of articulation despite the fact that they're made of metal. They're hefty, but they can move in out, back, forward, spin, go up. The amount of articulation I was expecting out of the wing binders is a lot more than I was willing to give it credit for, but this definitely outdoes the Master Grade Proto Zero leaps and bounds in terms of articulation and sturdiness as well. Just for small little gimmicks before we begin with the accessories, the wing Vulcans can go out. They do take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, but you can get them to flip out as so, and they do rotate back on as they can. Now, there are supposed to be vents in the chest that you can flip out, but for the life of me, I could not do it. I was too scared to chip the painting, and no matter how much I tried to flip it open, it just wouldn't go. So that is my apologies for my part of the review. And now we go to accessories. First off, we're gonna start with the wing buster shield, and it looks just as great as the figure itself. It has the two-tone whites, the high-quality red. It's got the different types of textures. What I love about this especially is behind the clear piece, just like with the chest, there's a metal-plated silver piece behind it. It makes it pop a little bit more. This doesn't just stand in the background. And it attaches to either the left or the right forearm. You actually have a choice, thankfully. And as well, you're gonna get two beam sabers that can go inside of the shoulder blade. And it looks really great. It can pull off a lot of great poses. Next up, we have, of course, the Buster Rifle. And this thing has a little bit of a few gimmicks to it as well. The yellow parts of the Buster Rifle move up so you can move the hilts or the holder for the hands, and you can combine them together either for Neo Bird mode or just be able to combine them together and only have to hold in one hand. Surprisingly, the hands on this figure are made of rubber, so you're not going to be fighting with them as much as you would a Master Grade, which is good because it just flows and it's much more fluid to lock the hand into place. The wrist might not be the strongest joint of this, should have been metal, but once you get the forearm working with you, that thing can hold up the Buster Rifle combined very easily. And like I said before, yes, it can do the final shot pose standing up. It doesn't have to be on its display stand, which I will get into right now. Now you might be wondering, Reggie, it comes with a stand, you should be doing some more dynamic posing. I want you to look at the V-fin. Look at it very carefully. It busted. It busted with me trying to put it onto the stand. The connection to the stand is a bit flimsy, at least in MS form. Now, for example, I'll show you in Neo Bird mode. Neo Bird mode has a two-point connection. The connection to the bottom of the waist is a lot more sturdier. It actually locks into place. And then it allows me to flip it and put it into Neo Bird mode. The connection piece to the MS form, however, is not as tight as I want it to be, and it caused my wing zero to fall multiple times as I attempted to put it into more dynamic posing into the stand, and the V-fin busted. I used some cement to put it back together, but it still looks kind of crooked. I bought this from Image Anime, and they essentially told me I'm SOL. Because they can't replace the V-fin or the head, and it's essentially my problem. So, because of that, I'm really not that happy. I actually broke down and cried before, otherwise you guys would have gotten this review 3 days earlier. But yeah, broken V-fin on a $200 action figure made of metal. Why wasn't the V-fin made of metal? I'm gonna give my final thoughts on this action figure. And I'm sorry, it's a mixed bag for me. This thing looks phenomenal. This thing is the best looking Wing Zero I have ever seen in my life. Nothing can tell me otherwise. There is not a high grade, a real grade, a master grade that can show up and outdo this without extra effort put into it from a third party or just a very talented builder. There is nothing that can replicate this version of Wing Zero. It looks sharp. I love the proportions. I love the multiple tones of plastic used here. I love the clear green parts. I love the painting applications. This is what a modern take of the Okawara version of Wing Zero should be. Nothing can top this. The gimmicks, when they work, they work. The Buster Rifle isn't that heavy. I can hold it in one arm combined together. I can do the colony shot pose. I could do the final shot pose. Neo Bird mode works phenomenally. But the fact that I have to struggle just to pose this on the stand in MS form, and the fact that the V-fin broke that easily after falling maybe twice, hurts my ability to want to get something like this again. It shouldn't be that flimsy to break a V-fin. It should be sturdier, it should be tougher. I know it's supposed to be a combination of plastic and metal, but come on. I should have a better connection piece to the connection of the action figure. This shouldn't happen. And that's why it sours on me, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be asking me, Reggie, are you going to get Gundam Epion? Before this, I wanted to say yes so badly. But now I really have to consider, do I want the possibility of this headache again? Because what if Epion reuses a lot of parts from Wing Zero and its connection to the action base in MS form is flimsy as it was for Wing Zero? I might lose another V-fin, and because I bought this from Image, they're not going to help me out. So I really have to sit and think. The figure by itself, before this, I would have said, hell yes, this is one of the best purchases I ever got in my life. But because of the flimsiness of the connection to Wing Zero with the action adapter, I don't know. I'm gonna try to be on the more optimistic side. I'm gonna say this might just be me, because I've seen other reviewers from the Japanese side be able to pose their Wing Zeros with their adapter onto the action base in MS form, no problems. It might just be me, I might just have sucky luck. So with that in mind, I will hesitantly say you should get this. But be mindful of the struggles that I went through, and be mindful when you're posing this thing. Will I get Gundam Epion? I really have to think and sit on it. It's not a no, but it's not a yes either. It depends on when it comes out, how much money I have, and do I want to possibly deal with another heartbreak like that again. So with that in mind, Happy New Year. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I know you guys were expecting the Nielsen Works Gundam Mystery Red frame, but I can't really finish that thing. I sold that thing off because it was such a frustrating build. But I promise I'll make it up to you guys. There should be a poll going out this weekend asking what you guys want to see next out of my backlog. We can vote from there and go forward and find something interesting that is not only fun to build, but something that can be productive and have a actual finished product for me to review. So with that in mind, I'm 101R Smith, and I will see you later. Peace.